Hello everyone and welcome back to another video on the channel, and today we are not talking about Leeds United. We're still talking about football. We'll always be talking about Leeds United or football. We'll do a range of topics on the channel as well. But today we are talking about Wayne Rooney quits or resigns from Derby, whichever way you want to phrase it. And Gareth Bale joins MLS side LAFC, Los Angeles Football Club. So let's get into today's video. If you're new around here, like and subscribe, and put a thumbs up on the video and turn on the notifications button to keep up to date with everything else. So, let's start off with Wayne Rooney. Wayne Rooney leaves Derby or resigns from Derby after a sticky time. He stuck with Derby for so long. He came to Derby, I think, in 2020. Came to Derby after the sacking of, Philip Coote, who left Derby. But the problems for Derby started a long time ago before Wayne Rooney came to the helm. So they started, I would say, just, I don't know when about, but I would say that it was when Frank Lampard left Derby County. So Frank Lampard had brought in lots of loan players to Derby, and they all disappeared, and so did Frank Lampard, as Frank Lampard left to Chelsea. And then, obviously, after that, they brought in Philip Coote, who had them way below where they were the season before, after they'd beaten Leeds in the playoffs and then lost to Villa in the final. So that's really where the problem started, where they started to be investigated at the end of that season, the end of the 2019-20 season, and for rumours of the owner selling the ground and then getting it back somehow, and then obviously financial fair play stuff as well that came into that, if I'm not mistaken, as well. And Wayne Rooney did come into the fold in 2020, in about, I think it was October 2020, and it was under a lot of pressure, kept Derby up that next season, sent Sheffield Wednesday down to League One on the final game of the weekend. But you know, that was such a sticky time. He did stick with Derby for the 21-22 season, but it obviously for him was such a tricky time. The transfers were stricken in. He didn't really have many players who knew the Championship. He had a lot of young players within the squad as well, so it was very difficult for Wayne Rooney, but he stuck it out with Derby, with numerous rumours surrounding Derby, or surrounding Wayne Rooney more or less, with him leaving for Everton and other football clubs. But obviously that did not happen, and he stuck his time out at Derby and committed at the end of the season into the summer until he decided to leave this summer. So with him deciding to leave, I think he did say in a statement along the lines of, I feel it's the right time for me to leave, as Derby are in a very sticky situation. I've stuck with Derby for throughout this tough period, but I feel like it's for somebody with fresh ideas to come into the helm now and to do the job that I have, and to take the club forward and not be under pressure by this, and not know as much about what's going on at Derby, where I feel more deeply affected, and it's time for a new challenge. So he really feels that he has come to the end of his time at Derby and feels like it's for somebody else to take over, which is a good thing in a sense, because Derby could do with fresh meat through the door. But obviously for Wayne Rooney, he will be affected by this, as he's been in the helm a long time and he's been through this process for numerous time now. So I think that is massive for Wayne Rooney, and potentially for Wayne Rooney to go now. In a sense, he can start somewhere new. It's a new challenge for him. And I think he needs to start at the level that he is now, the bottom end of the Championship, League One level, to build up. And some managers haven't done that whereas you look at Frank Lampard, he was with Derby in the Championship, did alright with Derby, went to Chelsea, was at the wrong time, and now on to Everton. And that really hasn't been the greatest, but obviously we've got to see the improvements there. And it's the same with sort of Steven Gerrard, where he's gone to a big club in Rangers and done really well at Rangers, and then obviously gone to Villa and hasn't really had his chances yet at Villa, as he needs to prove himself for the next season. And same there as well with Frank Lampard. But, you know, looking at Wayne Rooney and looking at surrounding Derby, I think for Derby, they've now got to look for a fresh manager. They've got to look for a new manager. So I think they'll look for somebody fresh who doesn't know. And this is right why Wayne Rooney's leaving. And he will be affected by this. And he knows the struggles of Derby because he's been in, like I say, through this period of time where he's been in 2020 when this effectively started. And he's here now where there's been no buyers. And he sat down and talked to the board and they were convinced to try and keep him in his job. So that is big news coming out of Derby, and I want to know your thoughts on who will be the next Derby County manager and who you would like in the helm there as well. So let's move on and talk about I forgot his name, Gareth Bale going to the MLS. He has been linked with a number of clubs, and Sky Sports were saying this afternoon, I've just watched it on there, they were saying that he was rumoured if Wales weren't going to qualify for the World Cup to retire, and that would be the end of his career. But since Wales did win, he was rumoured to go to Cardiff and was actually in talks with Cardiff for a short period of time before the World Cup to be at Cardiff, so he gets a little bit of game time under his belt, and then obviously he's ready for the World Cup then. But he has joined MLS side Los Angeles FC. And this is in a sense kind of good because they're going to get summertime to play, a little bit of a break because they do finish in September, October time, ready for the World Cup. And then obviously it can go with Wales to the World Cup. And then obviously I don't know if he'll be there in January next year because their season finishes in September time and then doesn't come back till March time. So it just depends what there. But this is a good move for him. He's going abroad, he's going to start a new challenge, and he's guaranteed to have game time. And he would have done at Cardiff as well, but he isn't guaranteed game time at Real Madrid. So this is a really good and positive move for Gareth Bale. And you know, he is one of Wales' star man, and he had a really big key part to play in their game when they reached and won in the playoff qualifiers against Ukraine. He assisted the goal, so that was huge. I think he assisted the goal or scored the goal, whichever way that is. But this is such a good move for him, and I think he'll be very excited by this move. And when you hear MLS side calling you, wow, that's huge, and definitely a newer and a more modern club calling your name, that is huge. And it looks like, I think one of his teammates could be joining him as well, so that is great. The Italian international could be joining him as well, so that would be really huge. I can't remember his name, so that's why I'm saying the Italian international. So this will be really huge for Gareth Bale. And actually he's going where, like I say, he's going to get game time, but obviously he will get a little bit of a break before the World Cup. So I'm really excited to see what Gareth Bale can do there. Can he score lots of goals? And in recent seasons, he hasn't done too well. Didn't do too well at Spurs. Hasn't done too well at Real Madrid. And he is getting older now, so potentially this could be the back end of his career. And a lot of players at the back end of the careers do kind of go in the MLS. We've seen it with Wayne Rooney. We've seen it with Lampard. I'm mentioning them again, but we've seen it with a number of players as well. And some still playing. Some still playing to this day. So we'll just have to see what is what. But this is such a fantastic move and stuff like that. So I'd like to know your thoughts on who will be the next Derby manager down in the comments below. So thanks for watching, everybody, and I'll see you in the next video, which should be the rumour roundup, or there might be some other topics that we'll touch on which might not be football related as well. So if you're new around here, like and subscribe, click notifications button to keep updated, and much appreciated. And I'll see you in the next video. Come on.